Good morning.
Good morning.
We're here with the Carroll County Remembers History Project. Today is October 7th, 2009. And how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
You?
I'm great. I'm
Good.
doing great. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And sharing your memories. We'll start from the beginning. Where were you? Were you born in this area?
No, I was born in D.C. We moved here in 1978.
Oh, okay. So you have been here for a while
yeah.
then. Okay. And
Over 30 years.
When you moved here from D.C., obviously this is a less fast-paced than D.C. is. What brought you to the area?
Well, we lived in Wheaton prior to moving here,
Okay.
and we had 3 kids in a 2-bedroom house, and we were expecting our 4th, so we looked for a place with more room. And our realtor kept showing us Rockville, and we couldn't afford anything in Rockville. So we had friends that had already moved to Mount Airy the previous year, and they said, "You're going to have to come out here." When we first came out here, we figured we'd have to pack a lunch because it was so far away. But we settled here. We bought a house here, and we've been here ever since. So.
Okay. And what was it that what kind of qualities made you want to stay?
It was slower paced than Rockville. The schools were pretty good. I mean, it just was, it was far more reasonable house-wise than down in Montgomery County. So those were the main factors.
Okay.
So
when you moved here, I know a lot of people when they move here they purchase farms. Did you guys buy a farm or was it just a home?
No, we just bought a house on a half acre. So.
Oh, okay. And where is that? Are you still in the same house?
Yeah,
okay.
Same house.
All right. And you mentioned you had children. How many?
I have 5 now.
5 children now.
Yeah.
Girls, boys?
3 boys and 2 girls.
Okay. And what kind of work did you and your husband do?
My husband was an insurance salesman for Frederick Underwriters, so he had a good commute from here to Frederick because he's going the opposite direction of the traffic in the morning. And I've always, once we moved out here, I was a stay-at-home mom and all that. So what was nice about Mount Airy is that where we lived, 27 didn't have traffic lights, didn't have the traffic it has today. And the library was downtown on Main Street. So I would walk the kids with strollers and all, and walk up Twin Arch, look both ways, cross 27, go down Park Avenue to Main, and the kids could have story time at the library. And the only places we had here in town was a place called Pizza Oven Inn, and we had a Dairy Queen. And if they were really good at the library at story time, we'd walk over to Dairy Queen, which now that's called the Safeway Shopping Center. And I'd treat them to ice cream, and then we'd walk home, and you didn't have to worry about the kids running away from the stroller or traffic and anything like that. And then a few years later, we have all these stores and the traffic lights and traffic. And so I would never walk the kids up, today. You'd have to really be careful and all.
Right.
So.
And what do you think of? I mean, obviously, Mount Airy looks totally different.
Oh, definitely.
From when you got here.
Yes, but I like the fact that we now have places to go. When we first moved here, if you wanted McDonald's, you had to go to Damascus. Mount Airy didn't have anything like that. I like the fact that now we did have Ames and a Jamesway, which are like a B-rated Walmart because at that time, but they offered what you needed. So once they were built, you didn't have to go into Westminster or Frederick. You could find things you needed here. And then, of course, when Walmart came in, those guys went out of business. But it was all over. It wasn't just in Mount Airy. So, but Walmart, we go there at least once a week.
Okay.
So.
Now, you've been here since 79?
78. Right.
78. What do you, and a few years ago, there was a terrible incident with the fire downtown. Do you remember that? I mean, were you able to see it firsthand?
No, our house is too far away to see it, but like right afterwards, we would drive downtown and you could see the building in ruins and the fences up around, and of course people, we stopped and slowed and you get your cameras out to take pictures and all, but it really looks great today. They have really done a great job remodeling and building it up and all. So.
How did you think that it would happen so fast, the rebuilding of the downtown area?
No, because construction has its own pace. It's not like, even when you buy a house, if they say 90 days, you're lucky if you can get in 90 days.
Right.
But I really like what they've done because before, the 2 restaurants that were downtown were what we really patronized, Lorienzo's and Old Town, and they were closed for almost, a year and a half or better. So it was nice to have them back open and go back down there and eat.
Okay. What are some of the major things that you've seen in Mount Airy? Like when you were raising kids, obviously it was a different era. What's different today that kids have to get into? In other words, how is Mount Airy working to keep kids today out of trouble? Like a la the skate park.
We didn't have the skate park. They have that. I think they have movies at the park occasionally too. We didn't have that. We did have the rec council, that was here, and we had MAYA, which is the athletic league, and our boys did baseball and they did soccer through that, and they did soccer actually through the rec council, and basketball. But they had, I think there's a teen center now that's downtown. We didn't have that. Now our youngest is 28, so he graduated from South Carroll. The school system was great. We had no problem with the school systems. They all got scholarships going elsewhere to college. So you have to have a good background to get that. And it's just, you know, the things that we had, they're still there. They've just added the skate park, and you know, the park was still here. You know, the fairgrounds, the carnival grounds were there then, you know, with the ball and all that. Since I don't have teenagers and younger kids now, I really don't know.
Right.
And our grandkids are still little, and they live in Westminster. So they wouldn't be coming to Mount Airy for activities anyway.
Okay.
But our oldest grandchild, we bring here to the library when we babysit her, and our library is fantastic.
Yes, it is a very good library. Yes.
So.
Your kids, are they all still in the area?
Our two sons live in Westminster. Well, we have two sons live in Frederick and a son and a daughter that live in Westminster. And the reason they moved there is because it was too expensive to live here in Mount Airy.
Really? So they moved to Westminster?
Yes. You know, our daughter, when she graduated from college or grad school, she looked for the Mount Airy apartments, and we told her check into Westminster because she's a teacher in Carroll County, and Westminster was cheaper. So we figured where she works, it's an easy commute from either direction.
Right.
And that's one thing that maybe Mount Airy needs to look into, is to keep the other generation closer to home. You know, but they don't have a lot of other than the Mount Airy apartments. You know, that's accessible for young people to move to. And our two sons that live in Frederick, they work in Frederick, so they wanted to be closer to where they work. So.
Okay. Mount Airy is still a great place to raise children, in your opinion?
Definitely, definitely. If I had my way, I would have bought lots of land and build houses for each of them and let them all live here, and then they could do what they want, work wherever they want.
Okay.
So.
All right. What do you feel is, other than, you know, the tight-knit, everybody knows everyone around here, what is unique about this place to you?
Well, I know when my kids were in school, I couldn't go to the grocery store without running into people that I knew from school. Now that I'm out of that scene, unless it's someone from church or someone from the senior center, it's gotten so big. You know, I don't really know that. Our neighbors are pretty much the same people from when we moved here over 30 years ago. So they really like the area, that they're still here. And in both cases, they built their houses also. So they picked Mount Airy.
Okay.
I just like it because it's friendly. It has what we need now. Now, especially since they have a retirement community here in Mount Airy, that if someday we wanted to look into that, we wouldn't have to leave the area. We could stay here.
Okay. Do you have any stories of when you first got here? Anything that pops out in your mind? Anything you like telling, or, you know, not just when you got here, but just any throughout your years living here? Anything?
Well, the lady where we used to live in Wheaton, the church we belonged to, when we had our first child, the girl that sat next to us would play with her. So she wound up being our first babysitter. And when we moved out here, we had gone to a church bazaar and found her there, and it seemed that her aunt lived in the area. So it was one of those, you know, a small area, but yet you brought it in from other places.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. So she was able to keep babysitting for you guys?
Well, no, because she still lived in Wheaton, but the fact that her aunt lived in the area, and
Right.
I'm still friends with her aunt today,
okay.
so it's, you know, it's just a unique one of those ooh
Right.
moments.
Exactly. Okay. So when you got here, did you take notice to all the farming that was going on in the area?
Oh yeah, right across the street we have a gentleman that has beef cattle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we know that. And the lady that lives next door to us then, at that time, she was raising chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that live there now still have chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's, you know, and we're on sort of like a country road, but you've got all these different people that have animals and all, so.
Was that something that you had to adjust to coming from Wheaton to Carroll County and all?
the noises,
all
like
the
hearing
noise.
the cows
Yeah.
and things. Where did that come from? That sort of stuff. you
Uh-huh.
know. But it was a nice adjustment, you
Uh-huh.
know, and in the summer when you drive by and you see the cornfields and, you know, it's pleasant to look at that, you know, and there's still fields around.
Right,
And
right.
it's not all houses, but they have built a lot of houses out this way,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably warrants the building of the other school,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to accommodate the people with the children and all. So, but we had come out here like every week watching our house being built, and we had registered our daughter in class so that when the house was finally ready, because it wasn't ready when they said it would be, that she would go right in and it'd be a smooth transition and all. So it was very good. So.
Okay. Were your children happy with the move? You didn't have all your children,
No,
obviously, when you moved here.
we had 3, and then we acquired 2 once we got out
Uh-huh.
here. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they made friends, and our son, he's still friends with his kindergarten buddies from, you know, and he's in his 30s, so their friendships have remained the same. And I think they enjoyed being raised out here. Our middle son went to Towson, and he got this sharp, you know, tough and all this, and then he winds up having a roommate that's from New York City to show him what a country boy he really is. So he wasn't such a hot
Right.
city guy
Right.
thinking. But I think it's nice because we don't have the drug problems, or at
Right.
least they're not prevalent like they are in the cities and all that. So
Yeah,
it's
not
a
really a
safer
lot of crime
environment,
either.
you know.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else to add, or anything
I
you
think
want to talk
it's a great
about?
place to live, and you know, when we first moved out here, we shopped more in the Frederick area, and now we tend to do more of the Westminster area because Westminster has all the big stores and Eldersburg. So we pretty much like to shop in Carroll County to keep the money in Carroll County.
All right. That's a
So-
good thing to do then.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so
Well, you're
much for
welcome.
sharing your
Thank
time
you.
and your memories with us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.